Hello, my name is Koyo, and this is On Air with Koyo. And on this session, we sit down with Charity Kelsey, who is a mentor, tutor of insect at CISM. She is a researcher who is actually shaping the future of farming in Kenya and beyond. She also mentors with Inuka Agri Solutions, teaches insect farming at Egerton University, and manages climate action projects through OSWA. She is advancing regenerative aquaculture with international teams under Refuture, Insightis Food, and Front AG Nexus. Along the way, her work has been noticed. She actually received the Regenerative Farming Award from Nakuru Mkulima Digital last year in 2024, and also an Insect Farm Award at the Young People in Agriculture Awards in 2025. She also helped her team bring home a gold award at the Africa Division Contest of the China International Students Innovation Competition last year. But more than just the awards that we have actually mentioned, Charity is proving that solutions like fish ponds, aquaponics, and insect-based feeds can actually tackle real-life problems. And of course, today on this session, she breaks down step by step of modern farming systems, and she will also be sharing a vision for a future where young people and women lead the way in building resilient food systems. Charity, welcome to On Air with Koyo.
Thank you so much, Koyo.
To start us off, you are so heavily involved in teaching, mentorship, and projects. What first drew you to regenerative systems, and why did you focus on aquaponics and circular technologies?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
What drew me first?
Yeah.
I don't have a specific point of what drew me or a specific thing of what drew me, but I'm bringing this back to my love in agriculture back in high school, and this brings about passion when it's come to agriculture. Finding myself into the circular or into the regenerative agriculture, it's from my passion with insects. So why did I, from the passion, how did it come? How did it make me now be focus on this? I think I will honestly be honest. It's a motivation. One of my moments when I first did a consultancy job for this work, and I got really paid dearly well. I was just 24 years when I did the consultancy job. So the motivation was like, indeed, there's something in this agriculture. So when the motivation was tied to my passion, I found a purpose, which means the purpose was now to solve the systems, like to solve the problems, the agricultural problems, whereby making farmers to be environmentally sensitive when they're doing their productions. Yes.
Who did you do that consultancy job for, and how much were you paid? Must have been a lot of money to really inspire you to get in this direction. Must have been a lot of money.
And money is never enough, and money is never a lot. I will not quote the figures, but it was like a 6-digit figure for the first time in my life.
6-digit figure?
Yeah, at 24 year old. And I will not mention the consultancy firm that I worked with for privacy purposes. Thank you.
You surely signed an NDA.
yes, non-disclosure agreements.
Interesting. So away from that first inspiration, away from your love for agriculture from high school, for the work that you've done over the years, is there a single moment or project that convinced you that this is where the future lies and this is what you really want to do for the rest of your life?
A single project or a single moment. I think there are several moments that I will literally say they are impact oriented. When I saw, I want to bring my ethnicity here. When I saw the impact that I was being created by now creating jobs for young people, so I really saw that this is something that is workable, something that could be done. So and then working with projects like Refuture, Nakuru Living Lab, in cities, CISM, and Koyo really made me realize indeed there is a future when it's come to regenerative agriculture. Yes.
What exactly do you do with CISM?
I am a tutor on insect farming, and I'm also a student of a project that is under CISM called Insightis. Yes. Okay.
So your day-to-day responsibilities away from being a student is teaching other students, or rather youth who are passionate about insects.
Yes.
Teaching them about
entomophagy. Yes.
Entomophagy from your LinkedIn is the act of eating insects directly or indirectly.
Yes.
How does that even work? Directly eating insects or indirectly?
So delicious. Insects are very delicious. Like crickets. When you say directly or indirectly, here we talk about like edible insect crickets, which you can eat directly as food, and indirectly as feed, whereby they get into the value chain and you still eat them. Maybe like the black soldier fly, you eat it indirectly when you feed it to the fish or when you feed it to the chicken.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. You also talked about Nakuru Living Lab and you touched on Koyo a little bit as well. What do you do or what have you done in the past with Nakuru Living Lab?
With Nakuru Living Lab, we are in Nakuru Living Lab as an innovation case. An innovation case working on insect farming. I'll say, but our insect of choice is black soldier fly. So I am there. We are there in Nakuru Living Lab as an innovation case. But at Koyo, our story began at Koyo as an innovation case that was supported by Nakuru Living Lab. And working with Koyo was a great moment of my life, whereby we came to understand the business aspect of our innovation. Yes. Okay.
What are some of those business lessons that you learned at Koyo? Just a few of them.
I came to realize, one of the slogans that I've always tell people, sometimes you can be busy and you're not in business. So it's the slogan that I learned from Koyo. You can be busy, but you're not in business. You're not making money. So at that moment, I came to learn about business models. Currently, I can do my pitch decks. Currently, I can do very good business canvases. That is through the incubation at Koyo.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Let's go back to these awards that I touched on the intro to this session. The Nakuru Mkulima Digital Award.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What were they looking for? How competitive was the process? And what does this actually mean for you now? Does it now stamp you, your name to where it should be?
Okay, thank you. When we began this podcast, I was telling you that awards are rewards.
Yeah.
And rewards, they're given maybe on a competitive basis or a recognition. I think of all the awards that are listed, the Nakuru Mkulima Digital Awards is one of the ones that really create a lot of impact in me because it was not a competitive award. It was a recognition award. And this came from my farmers to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a symbol that my farmers recognize the impact that I'm creating down there. And they nominated for this. So it was not competitive. It was a nomination from my farmers that made me got the award.
Okay, it's just a genuine appreciation of the impact that they have from,
Yes, and that is what really fueled my passion for this even more. I was like, okay, if somebody outside there is very grateful of what I'm doing, why don't I keep doing what I'm doing and even advance more? Yes.
How about the one you helped your team bring home, the China International Students Innovation Competition?
That is our latest award. We also got some cash from there, but I'm not going to disclose how many. You can find it in the website.
You really have to mention these figures. You really have to mention these figures.
No, I'm not going to mention. Money is never enough, and it's never a lot. Okay. The China award was on tomato grafting, which is also a smart technology when it's come to agriculture, a regenerative technology too. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You and your team.
Thank you so much.
And we hope next time you really give us the figures.
It's all right.
So in plain terms, how will you explain regenerative aquaculture to a smallholder farmer in Nakuru? And what does this actually look like on the ground? Like most basic terms.
The basic term of regenerative aquaculture or regenerative agriculture, it's about the environmental sensitivity in it. Okay. When you're doing production, whether it's with your fish in your aquaculture or in your farms, agriculture, crop agriculture, you need to be very environmentally sensitive. Okay. Because already we are living in a planet that our environment is deteriorated. So how are you going to contribute to heal this environment? So in simple terms, is doing your production in an environmentally sensitive way. Yes.
So that is what makes the difference from other fish farming models or other farming models.
Of course, yes. Yeah. The difference is the environmental aspect of it. I will say humanity or human beings, like Wangari Maathai always says that, the planet, it's a whole ecosystem and we are just part of this ecosystem. Okay. But over a period of time, humanity always say they have been so selfish about themselves. They do the production as long as they get what they want, they don't care about the environment. But now here come regenerative aquaculture or agriculture that reminds you need to be sensitive about your environment. Okay. Yes.
Interesting. Now, we are already sensitive about our environment and we really want to take care of it. For our audience who may be farmers or want to really go into aquaculture, what is the step-by-step basics of fish farming really?
Okay, fish farming to begin with. I know fish farming, when you talk about fish, is a rearing of fish. Now, this is now not really domesticating, but they're under a care of somebody, unlike the capture fisheries where they're out in the water bodies, right? So when you talk about fish farming, I want us to understand, to come a step by step. To me, a step by step is starting to look into fish farming as a business. Because we find that fish farming or aquaculture per se was introduced as a sport thing with the colonial people, and this diverted the attention of thinking that people can make profit from it. So after thinking that it is a business, a step by step, so you decide from business, you have now like the capital. What capital do I have to start this fish farming, right? Now, this is going to bring you to your scale of production. Are you going to do, are you going to be a small scale farmer or a large scale farmer? And also this is going to bring you to the systems of production. Do you want an extensive or an intensive system? But I will talk about a farmer in Nakuru County, who of course we've interacted with. Majority of them are always having the fish ponds. And currently the technologies that we are bringing out, disseminating the aquaponic system. So if you want to start a fish farm, or that is maybe the fish ponds, the basic things you really need to understand are the site selection. That is number one thing, the site selection. And there are various factors that you really need to consider, like the temperatures, the water, then the environmental factors, and also we also have the human factors, like the labor, the market, such like things. So when you all put these things into considerations, that is when now you go now into actually starting now to get the pond, to build the pond. And it is a long thing, a long process. Let me cut it short. For you to have a good pond, all you need to know that a good pond needs a dike, a good pond needs a board, and a good pond needs to be a slope, whereby we have a shallow end and a deep end, and a good pond need to have an outlet and an inlet. Yes.
How much will this cost for a basic farmer?
For a basic farmer, I can't really.
I want to really like have 50.
Like 50. You want me to say like 50,000?
Like I have like 50 stocking 50 fingerlings. And I have like the most basic pond.
The most basic pond.
It's not big. It's just like size of this studio. I just want something to eat.
You just want something to eat. So the most basic ponds, to me, I will say it depends now with the system. We have different systems. You can choose the tanks, you can choose the fish ponds. But instead of going to disturb the environment, for the most basic for somebody to eat, maybe you are in an urban area, why don't you choose a system like the tank system, that you can even put in your balcony and produce your fish, than going now to disturb the ground. Yes.
Because earlier on we were talking about environmental conservation and all of that.
Yes.
Interesting. So where do we get the fingerlings now?
Okay, thank you. The fingerlings, we are not just talking about fingerlings. We are talking about quality fingerlings. Where to get the quality fingerlings? It's from certified farmers. Like we have farmers that are already certified. They're given those certificates to be doing these fingerlings businesses. But you can also get them from research institutes like Egerton University and like Kemfree in Sagana. Yes.
So the prices also differ, or the specific? How does Egerton, for example, sell their fingerlings?
At Egerton, we sell a fingerling at 15 bob per fingerling.
15 bob, Kenya shillings, that is.
Kenya shillings, that is. But I will say, I don't want to say for other institutions, because when we say fish farming is a business. So when they calculate their cost of production,
they might have different prices.
Yes, they might have different prices.
So at Egerton, it's 15 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
I almost said 15,000. So we have the fingerlings, and now we want to feed them. What do they feed on?
They feed on a diet. A fish diet.
They also have a diet.
Yes. Fish are living things. They feed on a diet. And the diet of the fish is comprised of different nutrients components. We have the carbohydrates, we have the vitamins, we have the protein content in it. But the major one that we always tell farmers to look into is the protein content of the of the feed. Because different stages of the fish require different protein content for development. For example, for the starter, for the fingerlings, we feed them on something called starter feed. Starter feed, it's more of current. It's like a Nutri-Zero. It's like it's powdery. So the protein content is a little bit higher. So as the fish continues to grow, the protein content is reduced.
Yes. So now we have the food. Now we just have to monitor them. how do we monitor? How do we know that this fingerling is not okay? If some of them are dead, we have to restock again. I think just the basic maintenance practice of this now before we harvest.
Fish farm management, it's very key.
Okay.
And I think that is one of the things that most farmers neglect.
Okay.
They just think like, I will go and get my fingerlings, throw to them there, I give them food, and then everything is done. So the first thing you really need to be monitoring in your fish farm is the water quality, the house. If the house, like the water is the house of the fish. Okay. So if the water quality is not right, the fish could die, or the fish, the fish could die. The mortality rate could be high. So you need to be monitoring the water quality parameters. What are the feeding? Are you overfeeding or are you underfeeding? Because the feeding, when feeding the fish, you need to feed it at least maybe 5% of its body weight. So how are you feeding? Like something like that. Yes, yes.
Interesting.
And you also need to be recording the mortalities. Yes.
What do you mean recording mortality?
Oh, that brings a very important point when it's come to looking aquaculture as a business. Data recording. Recording mortalities is like the deaths of fish. You walking in the morning, how many fish died, how many fingerlings died, you need to know. So at the end of the day, if I stocked 200 fish and I have collected 50 mortalities, which means I have 150 150 fingerlings or 150 fish. So this one is going to return you to calculate your feeding ratios. This helps you to calculate your feeding ratios again. Yes.
Interesting. What are the most common mistakes new farmers make? Away from not looking at this as a business, what are some of the mistakes that we make now?
The common thing that most busy farmers make, I will say, I think they think they venture into fish farming as a hobby. Not looking into it as a business, which is a good thing, not a bad thing.
How is it a good thing? How is it a good thing?
Yeah, they're just people, fish, they have that aesthetic value. You just want to see fish and you feel nice.
It's just cool to have
just
a fish
cool,
pond.
but with them it's a hobby because they are venturing into it thinking that they will make profit or get the nutrition aspect of it, but they don't take the farm management. So to me, the basic is overseeing. Not seeing fish farming as a business. And then another thing that I really want to emphasize on is about data recording. Most farmers does not know when did I stock, the stocking date, the quantity of stock. They just go and get their fish, they stock it there. So at the end of the day, so they think they're having fish. When they're doing their harvesting, there's no fish.
There's no fish.
Yes.
So I think that is very, very key. Data recording.
Data recording is very key. Fish farm management is also very key.
I think if you manage to do all these processes very well, then definitely you'll be looking at this production as a business.
Yes.
Because of the time and money you have invested in it. So let's now talk about aquaponics. This actually promises huge water savings and circular nutrient use. In your view, are those gains realistic for small and medium farmers in Kenya, or they just are okay for urban tech-enabled projects?
I'll say they're very they're very
realistic.
Yeah, they're very realistic. But to the question, I love that question because it always rise. Is aquaponics a realistic innovation? It's very realistic. What I know with aquaponics, the initial cost of installation is what is a little bit high. But here we always ask farmers to always be innovative, because when we talk about aquaponics here, we are talking about integrating of fish and vegetables in a system. Yes.
So what do you mean we should be innovative? How should we be innovative with this to really spend less in doing this setup?
Being innovative is using locally available materials. Yes. Yes.
For example,
I've just told you aquaponics is the integration of vegetables and fish, right? Which means you need a grower bed, and you also need a fish tank. You can innovate a fish tank. You can innovate a fish tank, maybe a rest fish tank, maybe with some timbers, and then you can also innovate a grower bed, maybe with a timber, and use available substrate like the pumice around. Yes.
So that explains a simple aquaponic setup then.
Yes, a simple aquaponic setup you just need where, like, you need your fish tank where the fish are,
the beds.
The beds, and you also need you need the beds that are the growers bed where the vegetables are. So in this growers bed, there's something, the substrate, which are largely the pumice. They also act as a biofilm for the bacteria that converts the good ammonia into good nitrates that are good for the plants. Yes.
How about water cycling?
It's cycling.
Cycling,
Yeah, from there you also need a sump whereby the water gets from the beds, the water gets into the sump and then back to the fish tank. Yes.
How long does this process take before, it's ready for both the fish and the crops that you now have, this cycling maybe?
The cycling of water.
Yeah.
The cycling of water, I don't really think there's time. It's a continuous thing.
Okay.
The water gets from the tank, it's get to the plants, the nutrients get absorbed, and then to the sump, and then water gets back. It's a continuous thing.
Along this process, is there anywhere we need energy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we need energy. For example, for the pump, for the aeration of the water, the pumps need energy. So the best thing we always tell our farmers is to use the green energy, the solar energy. Yes.
So that actually ensures that you people design systems that reduce energy dependency.
Yes.
Because sometimes there's no electricity and all of that.
Yes.
But also it's climate smart at the same time. So
yes.
that is making a lot of sense. So from this conversation, are there any working examples from Nakuru Living Lab or Insightis? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right again. Are there any working examples that you'd love to talk about?
Yes. These projects are here to help the people.
Yeah.
They are not meant to be within the university.
Yeah.
So with working with Insightis, I think we onboard farmers, and we've onboarded various farmers in different parts of Nakuru County.
Yeah.
And I will say, to give a precise example, I will talk about, let me start from Ravine coming down to Ravine. We have a farmer called Kipruto. Kipruto has adopted a part of the system whereby he has a fish pond, and then he uses the water from the fish pond to fertigate his vegetables.
Okay.
And when I bring it down to Njoro, we have Joseph in Jokerio that he also have a fish pond. He uses the water from the fish pond to fertigate the vegetables. And then we have a very innovative farmer at Kerema that is in Njoro. He really innovated a very simple system whereby he has a fish tank, and then from the fish tank he has a greenhouse, a very low cost greenhouse. He used locally available materials to build the greenhouse, and then he got a tank, and then from the tank in the greenhouse he used the water to fertigate the vegetables. So the impact is there. Yes, the impact is there. It has been disseminated, and we are continuing to onboard farmers who are interested in adapting these systems.
How can these farmers reach you, both Nakuru Living Lab and Insightis?
We are at Egerton University. We are projects that are within Egerton University. For Nakuru Living Lab, you can always reach us through for Nakuru Living. So as long as you are in Egerton University, you can find Nakuru Living Lab. And Insightis, when you want to find Insightis, when you find CISAM, you find Insightis. Yes.
What if you're outside of the university? How do you? Because you've said as long as you're inside, you can find. What if you're outside?
When
the
you're
university?
outside the university, our Egerton University have very active websites and social media pages. You can always reach out to Egerton University. Nakuru Living Lab has very active pages, and also CISAM have very active pages. Insightis also have very active pages. You can always reach out.
Always, you can check out LinkedIn Nakuru Living Lab.
Yes,
my friend works in communications at Nakuru Living Lab.
Yes.
His name is Walter.
Shout out to Walter.
And shout out to Professor Bob as well.
Yes, the PIE.
Yeah. So let's move to BSF a little bit. I was talking to Josh about BSF on an episode that we watched earlier, and he was actually saying that this is actually going to replace expensive fish meal, insect meals, or rather circular proteins. Now, based on your research and the work that you've done with farmers, how ready are insect-based feeds for mainstream aquaculture in Kenya? Are we ready to use them really?
Wow. When you talk about BSF, you talk about charity.
Yeah.
When you talk about BSF, you talk about me, because it's all about alternative sources of protein. And to answer your question, Koyo, I think it is very ready. It is very ready when it's come to the nutritional aspect of it. But when it's come to BSF, to be very honest, I have really worked in this sector. A lot of people still doesn't understand the economic sense of the black soldier fly production. So this brings a challenge for large scale production that can really, really help to solve the issue of alternative source of protein. And I really want to maybe echo on something. We are not here to replace. You cannot totally replace the already existing protein sources in the market. What we are really aiming to with these alternative sources of proteins, we are aiming to reduce. To reduce the usage, because if, for example, if they were using 100% or 90%,